Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back. Now, covering submachine guns in Destiny 2 is really tough right now. It really is, because no matter what you say about them, for the most part, every sentence you make about an SMG, you can follow it up with, but Recluse. There are so many good submachine guns in this game, and some of you might have some personal favorites, but they don't really get a chance to shine that much, because it's so hard to deny the all-around utility that Recluse has. It's one of the best pound-for-pound weapons in the game. When I reviewed it, I called it a top 5 weapon in the game, and that still holds true to this day, even more so now with the Shadowkeep update. With that being said, that brings us to another Eris weapon that uses the lecturn every waking moment. It's the essence of obscurity, activities completed, 50 SMG kills, and find the Eris piece. Every waking moment does have one big thing over Recluse, and in my opinion is going to be worth your time, but it's going to be up to you to see if you find how important that is. It's very niche, and I always talk about weapons being tools in your toolbox. This is one of those weapons, a weapon to do a job, and it excels at that job. A couple things about it, number one being it's the second energy 600 RPM that's joining the random rolls, along with bad reputation. There's no way of telling what's going to happen in future updates as far as Recluse getting toned down, or SMGs getting a buff overall, we're never going to know. And when you look at the perk set, if you wanted this for PvP, it has the right perks for it, kill clip and others, demolitionist for a grenade build. But the main thing you want right now, especially with this season, is disruption break. Breaking an enemy shield with this weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage for a brief period. And when going for a roll with this SMG, that's really all you're looking for. Sure, something like Genesis paired with it is nice, or armor piercing rounds would be nice, but honestly, disruption break is really all you're looking for, and when these drop, that's a 1 out of 6 chance. It's not too bad when you're looking for a roll. Because when you do look at it, this season, a big part of in-game play is the champions, Unstoppable, Overload, Anti-Barrier. The artifact caters to that with rounds for each champion. This is a Void SMG that flows with what's out there. There are only 9 total legendaries that can roll Disruption Break. Only 4 of them can have an anti-barrier mod placed on them. The Callous Mini Tool and Ringing Nail are both solar, and then Kindled Orchid and Every Waking Moment, they're both void. Being void in this season, it deals with Vex, mainly your void Minotaurs. The Recluse has been excelling in the raid and other activities because it's void as well. We're dealing with Vex, but placing anti-barrier rounds on a Disruption Break weapon works incredibly well. When you pop a red shield with the anti-barrier rounds, not only do you stun them, but you debuff them with Disruption Break. 50% more kinetic damage. So with your loadouts, with this season, every waking moment being void is going to be the main draw. Kindled Orchid does have a shot, but you're kind of subbing this in for Recluse for these Vex activities. That way you can still have a nice CQC option to pair with something like Izanagi. Like I said, it is niche, but mainly for higher tier Nightfalls. Your loadout is locked. You and your fire team say, okay, I have Overload, I have this, you have that, and so on. With every waking moment, you're going to take anti-barrier rounds. Have your team ready with something like Izanagi and just delete the champion. It shows up in Vex Offensive. It's a lower tier activity, but the process still remains. You break the shield, you stun them, they're now vulnerable to kinetic damage, it just works. It also shows up in the raid, mainly the encounter with the plates that are shaped like a diamond. There are a couple anti-barrier champions that spawn there, so if you have to go solo that, you can break the shields really quickly, hit them with an Izanagi shot and you're good. But it's gonna be up to you. A lot are still gonna use Recluse and that's fine, but this is there if you wanna try it. It's good for all players. It's something I put in my rotation because it works really well in higher tier Nightfalls. For all the new light players that are just now getting into the game, they just got Shadowkeep and they're moving on. They're now getting better loadouts. This is an SMG that you can turn to and be a real asset to your fire team. Just because of the breaking and debuffing, a huge asset to your fire team. Void is key, this season being with Vex. Disruption Break is top tier with anti-barrier champions. So be on the lookout for it because the artifact does change every season. And just to test it in the 950 Nightfall by myself, as we all know, you can get some damage on them. You have a small window, but then they will put up their shield, they'll regen their health. And you imagine you're gonna have a fire team with you. You can break those shields and again, just delete them. So if you're new here, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. I just wanna throw this out there because no one's really talking about every waking moment. It does have a place. And the question I have for you is, are you using Disruption Break for the anti-barrier champions? Go try it in a 980 Nightfall with your friends. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I'm CoolGuy.